There's two things I really like about TUIFly and one thing I really don't. Join me on my intercontinental flight from the Caribbean to Europe and see what a holiday airline has to offer. Operated by TUIFly Belgium, our 787 Dreamliner takes us from the seaside resort of Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic to Belgium's capital of Brussels. Actually, the flight from the Dominican Republic to Brussels takes just over 9 hours. However, since we make a quick stop in Montego Bay, Jamaica, the trip will be a total of almost 14 hours. As we will see soon, this will pose an unexpected problem for us. Well, this is all a big misunderstanding because we actually called the hotline of the airline in advance to ask. Welcome to Punta Cana. We are not here for fun, but to try out an airline I have never flown with before, TUIFly Belgium. I am not a big fan of long-haul flights with budget airlines, but today we make an exception. So we are on the way to the airport right now, we'll see you there. ¿Cuánto cuesta? We are not quite sure if we have to check in here or at Terminal B, since there is no terminal stated on the booking confirmation. We are in the right terminal, as I just found out. Terminal A is a huge non-air conditioned bungalow without any enclosed walls, which is why it gets very hot. The heat is probably also the reason for the exceptionally unfriendly staff at the check-in counter.
Pick up for immigration?
Yes.
Let me see. Gate number 1, secure boarding time. Look here, look. Yeah.
Although the check-in staff are not employed by TUIFly, they are the first impression you get on a flight. And for us, this first impression was not a good one. However, we don't let that stop us and head through security towards the Punta Cana International VIP Lounge, accessible for $45 per person or for free for Priority Pass members. Compared to other lounges I have experienced in North and Latin America, this lounge offers an appealing range of culinary delights and even an outdoor area. If you have a priority pass, I definitely recommend this lounge, but it wouldn't have been worth $45 to me. Moreover, the lounge is not the only place in Terminal A to get some fresh air. The departure area is located in a proper building, but there are several outdoor areas accessible to travelers. We just arrived at the gate. Airport is quite packed. However, I still love this concept of like an open airport. The gates are mainly inside, but however, even here there are areas where you can go outside. It's quite a nice touch when you spend a long time at the airport, when you can go out, especially in a country like here in the Dominican Republic with like beautiful weather most time of the year. We don't have to wait long before boarding opens for TUIFly Belgium flight TB165 to Brussels via Montego Bay. There will be a passenger change in Jamaica, but the entire flight is operated on the same aircraft and under the same flight number. As we enter the cabin, we are greeted by the flight crew with a smile.
Please make sure nothing strikes behind.
I noticed already during the boarding how accommodating and welcoming the flight attendants are. I must admit that I did not expect this level of customer service on board TUIFly. That said, the cabin has already seen its best days. The 787-8 Dreamliner with the registration OO-JDL is already 10 years old, which is definitely apparent on the interior. It is not dirty, however, and my economy seat is equipped with a pillow, an adjustable headrest and an in-flight entertainment, which features a large selection of films and series. I couldn't find any headphones in my seat though, so I guess we'll have to buy them later in the flight. The flight to Jamaica heads toward the east, before we fly northwest from Jamaica to Europe.
Remember to put yours on first before giving people's hands.
Headphones are distributed during the flight to Montego Bay, and I also quickly noticed that the IFE is somewhat difficult to use in terms of responsiveness. I therefore spend my time enjoying the view and following the flight on the flight map, which unfortunately is not interactive. To my delight, free drinks are served on the 2-hour hop, and I realize once again how much of an impact a crew can have on people's flying experience. We've just got served our drinks. Until yet the crew still did not distribute headphones. We're about 30 to 40 minutes in. Layover is scheduled to be 45 or 55 minutes, I think. We can stay in airplane. And then for the next part, it will take about 10 hours, I think, from Montego Bay Airport over to Brussels. You can tell that the flight attendants enjoy their work and that they are truly committed to passengers' welfare. The flight attendant in our row takes drinks orders in English, Dutch, French, German and Spanish with ease and always has a friendly smile on her face. As the two flights are operated under the same flight number, I suspect we will have the same crew on the flight from Montego Bay to Belgium. During the stopover, only some passengers will board and disembark, while we will be allowed to stay on board. At least that's what we were told on the TUIFly hotline, which we called before we booked. Because of her nationality, Petra needs a valid Jamaican travel visa in her passport if she wants to enter Jamaica. Entry, including landside transit, is therefore not possible for her. However, we were assured on the phone that we would be allowed to stay on board, and at the time of landing in Jamaica, we did not yet anticipate anything bad to happen. We wait on board while the passengers with destination Montego Bay leave the plane, then the crew takes a head count and we wait for the onward flight. Welcome to Jamaica. Passengers with destination Montego Bay are getting off the plane now. Meanwhile, passengers traveling to Brussels are asked to remain on the plane until further notice. Unfortunately, we are informed in a passenger announcement that we have to leave the plane and take all our luggage with us. At the gate, we are given a transit card and are told to follow the signs to the immigration. At this point, we start to feel a little anxious. Eventually, we ask the ground staff and they tell us that we have to go through the passport control in order to get back to the plane. However, since Pachali will not be allowed through passport control, she would be stuck in the departure area. This is all a big misunderstanding because we actually called the hotline of the airline in advance to ask. Let's So again, for me inside the problem is you need to be valid travel visa from the Jamaican embassy in order to enter Jamaica, and this may also include transit. And she does not have that. Maybe some of you know the movie Terminal, where a man gets stuck like for a year or something like that in an airport, based on a true story. Yeah, and I'm not really keen for an experience like that, or for her to have an experience like that. We'll just walk there, put our passports there, and hope that they just let us through. I try to comprehend the situation and go through all possible solutions in my head. Then, as we arrive at immigration and Pachari is already mentally preparing to spend the rest of her days at Montego airport, the unthinkable happens. So they brought us here to the immigration area, but good news, out of nowhere, we and all the other passengers on our flight are directed past a queue through a small door at the wall into the security area. It's a huge weight off my mind and I can't describe the relief we feel at the moment. In retrospect, however, this incident leaves me with a bitter aftertaste. TUIFly is known for not having the greatest customer support, and as I later learn, misinformation in order to turn a customer away or to encourage him to book is not an isolated incident at this holiday airline. However, such things can also end way less smoothly. Just went through security control and extremely relieved that we did not have to go through immigration. I think so the goal of us leaving the aircraft was just to check our bags again, and now we can head to the gate and then hopefully enter the plane again. It's quite a ridiculous procedure, but it's the rules. Now we have a few minutes to explore Montego Bay's airport before we can board the plane again. How much? $55. Thank you. As expected, the same crew is on board, again helpful with a smile. The flight attendants are really the highlight of this flight. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Same plane, exact same seat, but now we've got a blanket and a small bottle of water. After takeoff, we flew through a thunderstorm, but what bothered me more was the lack of legroom. When the front passenger reclines the backrest, I can't sit up straight anymore at 1.85 m. As soon as the seatbelt signs are off, I take the opportunity to scratch my feet a bit and take a look into the bathroom. There are 4 restrooms in TUIFly 7878 economy class, one of which is out of order. So the 240 or so economy class passengers have to share 3 toilets. The result is long queues in front of the lavatories and absolutely filthy toilets. Once back at my seat, 3 headphones are distributed and I start watching a movie until the IFE crashes. Since the reading light is also operated via the IFE, I sit in the dark and start to doze off a bit before the IFE magically comes back on. Exactly at this point, dinner is being served. We decided on chicken with vegetables and mashed potatoes. It's actually not that bad at all. For airplane food, economy class, budget airline. The menu was delicious, though we soon wished we had ordered the other menu when Pachali finds a large shred of plastic in her mashed potatoes. The menus are made and packed on the ground, and they are only heated up on board. So the fault cannot lie with the crew, who nevertheless apologizes and brings us a spare. Although TUIFly probably cannot be held directly responsible for this flaw, the airline should probably consider working with another catering supplier. With a full stomach and dusk setting in, fatigue overtakes me and the turbulences over the Bermuda Triangle rocks me to sleep. I only wake up again when the sun is shining already and we are approaching the European mainland. Before we start our approach, a small breakfast is handed out, consisting of a strawberry yogurt, a muffin and the choice of coffee or tea. The landing in Brussels went smoothly and we were glad to be able to leave the plane.
Attention, la consigne lumineuse attachée, la ceinture. Avant de débarquer, assurez-vous d'emporter tous vos affaires personnelles et soyez...
In the jetway, passports are checked before we enter Belgium for the first time in our lives. Overall, the flight was a pleasant experience. The price-performance ratio is unbeatable and the crew is fantastic. However, I had a bit more trouble with the management decisions, especially regarding customer service, catering suppliers and fleet maintenance. Nevertheless, in my opinion, TUIFly offers more than many full-service carriers. A sad example of this is Air Canada. Click here to watch my Air Canada 777 trip report. Thanks for watching and see you next week.